I think most people who follow my channel, or any of the channels that talk about comics, realize this by now. The comic book industry is run by a bunch of Karens. Most of the people don't have any real positions of power. They're not the EICs or COOs. Their power lies in backstabbing, sabotage, and poisoning the well. You know, mean girl shit. They use these tactics to bully, pester, and control people who would normally have nothing to do with them. And they're very good at it because the people they use it against are pussies, who are so afraid of one of these Karens running to social media or contacting their media connections to ruin these people's lives that none of them will fight back. And that's where this recent Bleeding Fool article comes in. This is another one of the Whisper Network series, and in it the author reveals what's pretty obvious. No one wants to work with these complaintive Karens. The author has a source from Marvel, codenamed Sam, who talks about the shitstorm created by Uber Karen Alex DeCampi. According to Sam, DeCampi was going to write Ironheart, but because she was part of this cabal of idiocy, along with the likes of Heather Antos, Chuck Wendig, Gail Simone, and others, no one wanted to work with her. DeCampi is known for trying to ruin people, using her connections with people like Rich Johnston to spread rumors about people who catch her privileged little eye. According to Sam, there was a DeCampi clause in some of these people's contracts. Quote, "There are 2 rules if you want to survive the comic book industry. 1. Stay the fuck away from Rich Johnston and his minions. 2. If Alex DeCampi texts you, emails you, or even mentions you on Twitter, call a fucking lawyer, because chances are you're eventually gonna need it." This matches what I've seen and heard over the years. Alex DeCampi is a nobody in the broader industry, literally no comic book fan knows who she is, but her name comes up all the time. Sam warns, quote, "Want to spot a corrupt journalist from a mile away? Easy. Check Twitter and see who retweets Alex DeCampi. That is a big fucking red flag right there. If they're using her as a source, watch your ass, because they're dangerous." According to Sam, people were so against working with DeCampi that Marvel's upper management nixed the idea of having her write Ironheart in favor of hiring Eve Ewing, who's black and looks like Riri Williams. So I'm going to call bullshit, not on the idea that Marvel replaced DeCampi, but on the idea that she was ever going to get the chance to write Ironheart. Look at this woman. She's so white, if she walked the streets of LA, it'd be a miracle if she got out without being snorted. Ain't no way no white woman was gonna write Ironheart, especially not this purebred. You might use her to fix a mistake in the script, but she ain't writing a damn thing. Marvel would have been skewered for having a British white woman write about a black girl from the south side of Chicago. That shit was never gonna happen. But the idea that DeCampi's antics at trying to cancel other people so she could get ahead or punish anyone she didn't like ruined her chances at the book, yeah, that fits. The article talks about people like Chuck Wendig and Heather Antos pulling the same shit, but the article also claims that these people are on soft blacklists in the industry. They still have the clout and power enough to at least publicly get people to bend the knee, but privately, people want nothing to do with them. And this is partly why you don't see any of them on major projects, even though you keep hearing their names. Sam says, quote, "Here's the bottom line. The second blacklist gets brought up in terms of these proposed clauses. When enough concerned employees ask for a Fowler clause, or a Mags clause, a Joe Glass clause, or a Stephanie Cook clause, decisions have to be made. Do you protect your team from bullying, threats, and harassment, or hire one of these goons and roll the dice? At that point, you're pretty much lighting the Molotov cocktail yourself and waiting for them to toss it." I'm sure this is true, but it does leave me with this basic question. If you know these people are major pains in the ass, why worry about them in the first place? They have power because you give it to them. Magdalene Visaggio was a nobody until the industry decided to prop Mags up to get back at diversity in comics. And when they saw what Mags would do with that power, they continued to give this person work. The same with Tess Fowler. This is a person who has repeatedly gone after people in public, completely embarrassing everyone involved, and yet Fowler still gets work and still gets invited to their little clam slamathons. What has Joe Glass or Stephanie Cook done to make any of you want to suck up to them? Because the moment you stop listening to them, they lose their power. The moment you stop entertaining the bullshit that comes from Rich Johnston and Heidi McDonald, they lose their power. They have power because you give it to them. Why are you entertaining this shit when you know what they are? It's time for the industry to kick these Karens out. No business can work if people like this have any kind of power or control. You need to get rid of them, or they're gonna get rid of you. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.